want to try in 2023. I usually film these every year on the brands that I am taking an interest to and keeping an eye on. And there are some brands here that have been brands on my list for a while, or they're brands that I am very curious in trying that are newer to this list. So, what I'm going to do first is start out with probably the top 3 brands I am the most interested in trying. The first one, I actually had already purchased what I wanted from the brand. So the first brand is going to be Glaminatrix Cosmetics. So Glaminatrix is a Australian-based brand, and they are known for their very pigmented eyeshadow palettes and shimmer shadows especially. And they have like these beautiful multi-dimensional shimmers. And when they were releasing their palettes before this, I'm just pulling up the website as I talk about the brand, but as they were talking about their or when I was seeing like what they were releasing, I always was keeping an eye out on the brand, because every time that they would tease like a new eyeshadow palette, it always had like the most beautiful multi-dimensional shimmers. So at that point, I really just wanted to see what they were going to come out with that was a little bit more neutral, and then they released a more neutral leaning palette. And this has actually been their #1 best-selling palette, and this is the Glaminatrix Nearly Natural palette, and I decided to pre-order this palette when they restocked it this past Christmas, like this past December. They restocked it, I believe, like a couple of days before Christmas, and I decided just to order it then. Originally, I thought it was going to cost me more than like $60 to buy it, because since they are an Australian-based brand, they do ship from Australia, so you have to pay shipping, which is like $10 to $15. But when I ordered the palette, it only came to about $55 US. I think that the palette originally for US was $48, and then plus the shipping, it ended up being $55. So I will pay that if it's like an international brand, because I actually think that shipping rate is actually not that bad, especially for something that's shipping from Australia. I think that's a pretty decent shipping price. And I just think it looks like a gorgeous palette. It doesn't ship out until February though, so that's why I thought that this was a good palette to start out with for the year of 2023, because then in the month of January, I don't really have to worry about trying a new palette. And also, like I said, I'm not really looking to spend money on too much makeup right now. I am trying to save my money more, because I do have a couple of trips planned this year. So I really just want to save up money to travel, because I have not traveled in such a long time that that is just one of my goals. After I finish school, I am going to be traveling for my sister's wedding. So I really just want to save up for that. So makeup is not really my priority right now, but I am very excited to try this palette. The shimmers in here look absolutely stunning. There's only 7 mattes in it and 8 shimmers, but a lot of people say that the mattes just make the shimmers stand out so much that you really just don't care about the mattes too much. They do say that the mattes are great though, but the shimmers really are the star of the show. The formula kind of reminds me, like the super shiny formula reminds me of Give Me Glow's shimmers. So I'm probably going to love this, because literally everybody that I talk to from YouTube love this brand, and they have tried it and they have loved it. So I am very excited to try this palette, and I'm excited that it doesn't come until next month, so I can just enjoy my collection right now, because I really have just been very happy with enjoying the collection that I have right now. I've only been adding things a little bit here and there. Like I did add the Natasha Denona My Dream palette in December, but if I continue my no buy in January for eyeshadow palettes, I won't try a new palette until this palette comes in February. So, very excited to try the brand. So, that was the first brand that I was interested in. And then I just want to touch on another brand that is not new to me, but I would like to, they are kind of on the top of my list to try some more products from this year, and that is Unearthly Cosmetics. And they have just been releasing a lot of great, like they do release quite a lot. But honestly, they released some really beautiful products last year, so I was kind of super interested in trying them. I really would like to try more of their I really would like to try more of their face products this year, because actually I only have one product from them, which is the Fall Magic palette. I've never tried their face products and I've never tried their lipsticks. So I'm kind of really curious to try them this year. The one thing that I keep on adding to my cart but haven't bitten the bullet yet of ordering it is the V-Day mystery box that they came out with like a couple of weeks ago. And I have not been interested in ordering a mystery box since the ColourPop one, and that was not really a great box at all. It had like a bunch of duplicates in it. But from the October mystery box from Unearthly Cosmetics, they put all new products in their mystery boxes. So that's why their mystery boxes are really, really fun and special to people that order them, because they're all new products and they kind of lay it out like it's a PR box. And I actually watched Batty Bean's unboxing of the mystery box, because for me, I like to see what's in the boxes before I actually purchase them. I don't like really being that surprised anymore, because a lot of YouTubers do unboxings of mystery boxes now before you are able to get them, because they usually get them in PR. And she did an unboxing of the products in there, and there's an eyeshadow palette, a blush palette, and 3 lipsticks in there. And I feel like that would be such a good range for me to try their products, because I am also interested in trying those liquid lipsticks. And I think that those liquid lipsticks might be the matte finish, because I think right now they don't have any matte finish lipsticks on their website anymore because they discontinued them, which I'm kind of like a little bit like hesitant to try some of their products, because they do discontinue things very quickly, because they did rebrand last year. There's nothing wrong with that, but these liquid lipsticks were under the Unearthly Cosmetics name. So I don't know why they discontinued them so fast. I think they were only available for like 6 months, and now they're not available on the website anymore. But they do have liquid lipsticks in that mystery box, so that's why I'm kind of tempted to try it. And also, since I've never tried their blushes or their highlighters, there is a highlighty blush palette in there, which I do want to try one of their highlighters as well. But these blushes kind of double as like a very like shimmery blush. So, and I'm not that type of person that puts on a luminous blush and then doesn't do highlight. I do both, because you guys know I love highlighter so much. But I feel like those blushes will be a really good cheek product to try from them. So I'm very interested in trying that box, and I think I'm going to end up ordering it. And this is what the eyeshadow palette looks like. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, a 12 pan eyeshadow palette with 6 shimmers and 6 mattes. And it just looks like such a beautiful palette. But I'm also kind of waiting for another brand to release their Valentine's Day palette before I decide to pick up this mystery box. But also, I know that this mystery box is not going to be available forever. So I need to decide whether or not I'm going to pick it up. But it just looks like a really pretty mystery box. And I've also been interested in trying another palette from Unearthly Cosmetics, because I love that Fall Magic palette. I think it's beautiful. And I think this color story is so pretty. And it doesn't like scream Valentine's Day. Like, I feel like you could use this at any time of the year. and I feel like I could create some really beautiful looks with it. And I love the even amount of mattes and shimmers. There's some really nice deepening mattes in here, like this smoky brown and this like berry toned purpley brown. Well, berry tone color. I like that there's more of these berry tones in here, and this matte yellow is really pretty. It kind of reminds me of the Pinky Rose palette that I used to have. I still have it. I just haven't listed it on my Poshmark yet. But I am planning on decluttering it because you guys, I don't think I touched that palette last year, so I was like, I think it's time to go. But it kind of reminds me a little bit of that color story because of the yellows and the reds, but I don't know. There's something about this palette that I just think is so beautiful. So those are all the things that I would like to try from Unearthly Cosmetics. So now let's actually get into the new brands that I really want to try. Okay, so since I already ordered from Glaminatrix, and I think I'm pretty sure I'm going to order that Unearthly Mystery Box, the top 3 brands that I really, really want to try this year are ZC Cosmetics, Fantasy Cosmetica, and Flower Nose. So I'm going to pull up ZC Cosmetics because I think ZC Cosmetics has been on my list to try since 2020. And for some reason, I think that this is going to be the year, though, that I try them because I really, really want to try their products. I've heard nothing but great things about their products. I was just trying to hold out a little bit because they teased like these Disney palettes like back, I believe, in, I think it was like not last year, but like 2021, like winter 2021. And they teased like these prototypes of packaging for Disney palettes that they were potentially going to release. And meanwhile, those palettes still haven't been released yet. Like, it was like a Evil Queen palette or like a Snow White palette, and they're not out yet. So I'm like, I just want to pull up the eyeshadow palettes. But they have so many different eyeshadow palettes that I'm very interested in. Like, I think that the 12 pan palettes are beautiful. They also have 9 pan palettes that are really pretty. But I don't see that they have released these Disney palettes yet. They still have the Alice in Wonderland palettes available, and those have been available for like a couple years at this point. So I'm not really sure, but there's just such cute packaging. There's this vending machine palette. How freaking adorable are those? And then they have the 9 pans here. I was very leaning towards these 9 pan palettes. And I think that these are really pretty. I think I might end up picking up one of those. But I really just don't see any Disney palettes here besides the Alice in Wonderland ones. So that's why I was holding out to try the brand, but I don't think I can wait anymore because I've been wanting to try their stuff so badly. And also, they run sales very, very often. So I might just wait until they have a really good sale because I think I'm going to try them maybe in the springtime, like March or April, because I really just want to try their products. And their packaging is just so beautiful. And I also really want to try some of their cheek products. I don't know why this is already glitching on me. I want to try some of their cheek products as well. Because the packaging for their blushes is, I want to try this blush so badly, this coral one. And I think that's probably going to be the only one. This pink one is also gorgeous. And they just have really pretty packaging. And then for the highlighters, I don't see any other blushes I'm like super into. For the highlighters, look at these. Look how pretty those are. And then this one. Oh, I love this Cupid one too. And then they have like this Angels and Demons one. Oh my God. Like, are you kidding me? And then they have the Compass ones, which are very popular. So I am so down to try this brand. I cannot wait. And then I probably will pick up one of their lipsticks as well because their lippies are really pretty too. Like, just really cool packaging. So I'm super excited to try them out at some point, and I think that their stuff is so cool looking. Like these Palace Identity lipsticks are so gorgeous. $29 too for such gorgeous packaging. That's a really good price. I think I'm going to try one of these lipsticks because I've been wanting to have one of these lipsticks, but also this is such a pain to take with me to work if I decide to wear one of these lipsticks to work, but I'm super excited to try the brand. I've been wanting to try them for a long time, so I think this is the year I'm finally going to. So that is ZC Cosmetics. And then the next brand is, I have quite a few brands on this list, but I'm only going to talk about the ones I really want to try. So the next brand is Fantasy Cosmetica. They are a very small brand. They only have released 3 eyeshadow palettes so far, but they have become an extremely popular brand. They only have 3 palettes available, and they're all 9-pan palettes. And I believe they're a European company, if I'm not mistaken. But I really, really want to try this 9-pan palette, and it's called the Druid palette. This has been the only one I've been super interested in because the other 2 are kind of too colorful for me. And I think that this is going to be such a gorgeous, like, greenish forest green palette. It only has 4 mattes, but again, the star of the show for this palette is supposed to be the shimmers. Their shimmers are supposed to be amazing, and y'all know I'm a shimmer girl anyway. But there's, like, this really pretty, like, jewel chromey, silvery color, like, silvery brown. There's this gorgeous, like, olivey tone green. Love those kind of shades, and like some more nudish kind of shades. So I think that those are going to be beautiful with the deeper, like more neutral kind of shades. And I love this really olivey, almost pukey kind of green. So I really want to try this palette. So this is definitely the other palette that's very high on my list to try. You do have to pay for shipping for Fantasy Cosmetica as well. I think for ZC, I don't think the shipping is as much. I'm not sure where I know that they're an Asian brand, but I'm not sure like where they ship out from. But I don't think their shipping is as astronomical as some of the, I mean, they're not like astronomical, but you have to pay like at least $8 shipping for some of these places. I think for Fantasy Cosmetica, it's like $8, which again isn't that bad. And I think it's going to be worth it to try this. So very excited to try this. I probably won't try them until either March, or I'll wait until like the end of the summertime and not try them till like September. But I really, really want to try them. So like it's always like a battle of like when you want to try something, and sometimes I don't just want to hold myself back from trying things I really want to try, because again, you only live once and you're only young once, and I feel like this is like my prime time to try some new brands. So I really just want to try these brands because they've been on my list for a while. So we will see. But you also got to have the money. So the next brand that I am super interested in trying is Flower Nose. And they are another Asian brand that the only reason that I ended up finding out about this brand is because of Tara Babe's channel. She talks about this brand all the time, and their products just look so cool. Again, Asian brands just know how to do packaging, and I'm very curious to try them because their blushes look gorgeous, and so do their eyeshadow palettes. But like their eyeshadow palettes are like smaller. Like I think their biggest eyeshadow palette is like an 8-pan palette. I don't think I would try the 6 pans, but they do have 8-pan palettes that look really, really pretty. Like they have this little chocolate palette. I think it's called the Nutcracker, and it's like an 8-pan palette. So I think I'm going to end up trying this one. But it's also like kind of similar to the color story of the eyeshadow palette I'm wearing today, which is the, I don't know why you can't zoom in on it. See, it looks like that, but it's kind of very similar to the Not a Box of Chocolates palette that I'm wearing. So that's why I wasn't like sure if I was going to get this one. I might see what they come out with next. But as you can see, this is just like a more condensed version kind of this palette. They're very similar. So I don't know if I would jump to get this palette. But also, I've heard that the star of the show for their palettes are the shimmers. So again, the mattes like wouldn't be really like what stand out. It would be the shimmers. Because look at these shimmers in the swatches. They look like duochrome and extremely shiny and pigmented. So I'm very curious about this brand. And then the blushes are so gorgeously packaged. Like the packaging of some of these Asian brands are so beyond pretty. Like look at this one. Like they have these ones. They have, let me just do a quick view. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? And then they also have like these ones. Oh my God, I love this blush. It's so pretty. I've been kind of eyeing this one the most. Look at this packaging. Isn't that so pretty? It reminds me of like Bridgerton vibes of like taking like the powder puff and kind of just, you know, poofing it onto your cheeks like that. You know, like that. I'm such a dumbass. But it's such a gorgeous, like, peachy shade, and you guys know I'm, like, a sucker for these kind of shades, but the packaging is so beyond pretty. And then the other one, they also have these ombre blushes. Look at this. Isn't that so gorgeous? So I might get, like, one of these and that other one that's, like, packaged, like, the round one, but there's so many pretty blushes here that I'm, like, I really need to, like, decide which one I want. For their highlighters, I think they discontinued the ones that I wanted to try, which I'm really upset about because they had like these individual compact ones that looked so stunning, but the only highlighting product that they have available right now is part of that same collection that the that palette that I showed you. I think it's part of the chocolate palette or chocolate collection or whatever. But I'm not going to try this because it has like 2 contouring powders, I believe. And then I guess there's a highlighter in there. But like, I don't know. It just doesn't look like something I would use that often. There is one highlighter in there though. And it does look really pretty. But I definitely probably would not try this. But I just wanted to show it to you guys. But I might try like the eyeshadow palette, one of the lipsticks, and one of the blushes, because the lipsticks look really pretty too. Let me see where the lippies are. Like, again, look at the packaging. Such super slim packaging, but they have like this little teddy bear one. They have like these super slim ones. They're just so freaking cute. Like, look how adorable. So I am very curious to try their products as well. So they are very high on my list. So those are like my top 3 brands I really want to try. Another brand that has been on my list pretty much since 2020 is Menagerie Cosmetics. And with Menagerie Cosmetics, there is just something about them that I just end up never biting the bullet to try them. Because when they come out with their color stories or their palettes, they don't quite hit it for me. Like, when I saw so I was really interested in trying one of these kitty palettes, but if they come out with a dog palette, I might need to grab that. And I was like really curious about them because they were 9-pan palettes, and I was like, ooh, this might be perfect to try. But when they were first teasing them, I didn't think they were going to be as colorful as they are. And I do think that the color stories are really fun. Like this one's like kind of like a primary color kind of rainbow. And then the other one, I thought that this one was going to be a little bit more neutral leaning. I do prefer the color story of this one over this one. But they threw that green in there and that pink shimmer and a purple shimmer. And I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't really like this color story. Honestly, it's low-key a little bit ugly to me. I don't mean to be mean, but like it's like colors that I would not put together. Like this red and gray and green shade. I don't know why they put those mattes in here. Like if they put like maybe a purple matte in here instead of this green, I actually think it would have been a lot prettier. Like I understand that like, and I don't mean to say that it's like ugly. I just it's not an attractive color story to me. I find it not very nice and not appealing to me. But like I just would never know what to do with this palette. I really thought it was going to be a little bit more neutralish but still like have a pop of color because that's what Menagerie usually does. But it's just a color story I literally just don't really like. The shimmers look so pretty though, but I'm very curious to see what they come out with this year because they did say there was a lot of things coming this year. I do want to try one of their blushes as well. They're always out of stock though, but this blush is super popular, but their blushes look so dang pretty. I love this orange one. I might just try that one. And also their highlighters look amazing too. So there's definitely things I've been super interested in. And then the blush palette is out of stock again. That one's always out of stock. But it's only like 2 highlighters, 1 and 2 blushes, and that blush palette that's available right now. So maybe I'll just wait to see what they come out with. But I've heard nothing but amazing things about these blushes and highlighters. I heard they're really pretty. And then the last thing I'm interested in from Menagerie is their liquid lipsticks. I've had their liquid lipsticks in the past because I had them when they were Makeup Monsters, which was like a few years ago at this point, but they have, ooh, I might have to get this lipstick just because it's named after my sign. It's called Leo, and this is literally a color I would wear all the time. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in their liquid lipsticks. I actually own this color when they were Makeup Monsters. The shade Sedona is such a gorgeous red, such a gorgeous pinky like mauve shade. They just have some gorgeous colors that I really want to try. So I am very excited to try them. I might just get their cheek products and their lip products this time around. I don't know if I'm going to try their eyeshadows until there's one that I'm really, really interested in trying. Okay, so I do want to leave soon because I want to go to Target before I go to my boyfriend's, and then I'm going to pick us up some food. But there's only a couple more brands that I want to talk about. So that is Menagerie Cosmetics. And then the next brand I'm kind of really interested in trying is Rebel Rouge Labs. I've actually had them on my list for a little while. But there was actually a eyeshadow palette that they released recently that I'm kind of into. And I'll show you guys. I hope that they still have it. I think it's this one. And this one is for the movie The Labyrinth, which I actually find, yeah, I think it's called The Labyrinth, not Pan's Labyrinth. Labyrinth. Pan's Labyrinth. This one is called The Labyrinth, and it's with David Bowie, and it's like an old school like fantasy movie. It's very cheesy. I finally watched it last year, and it wasn't like my favorite movie, but it was like very interesting. But the color story that they released for this movie is so pretty. I guess it's one of her favorite movies. But it just looks like such a gorgeous palette. And this is kind of like the first color story I've really been into from this brand because it's more neutral leaning. And it has like these paler mattes in here, like these brownish tone mattes. And then they have like this olivey green and a black shade. So I think this would be a really pretty palette to try. It has 6 mattes. And it also has this deepening brown shade, which y'all know I love. And then it has a gold, a green, like this like really dark, like smoky shimmer, this other gold shade, this like warm tone peachy shimmer. So I think it looks like a gorgeous palette. So I think I might pick this up later in the year. It just looks so pretty. I feel like this is so my color story. Like, look how gorgeous. Isn't it like such fall vibes? I might not pick it up until like the fall time. but it looks like a palette I really would be interested in. There's not really any other palettes I'm interested in. She also just released this blush palette, which is kind of really pretty. But I don't know if I would try this because I feel like I really wouldn't wear these shades. And these, like, I don't know if these are supposed to be blushes, but they're kind of very deep. I would have liked to use some of them as, you know, highlighters, but you can use them as kind of like blush toppers. And I feel like this highlighter is pretty universal, but there's some really fun colors in here. And I think this is her first blush palette. But I don't know, it's definitely, ooh, oh, those are sold out. But it's definitely a brand that I've been kind of interested in for a while. So I think I might try that palette at some point because I just think it looks so pretty. But there's no other products I'm like really that interested in because they're mostly like really, really loud, vibrant liquid lipstick shades, which are gorgeous, but I'm just not going to wear them because there's like a blue, like an orange, but they look gorgeous. There is like this berry tone purple shade, which is really pretty. But it's definitely a brand that I've been eyeing. I think the first person that told me about this brand, I don't think it was Debbie, but I think that she showed it on her channel before. I think the first person that introduced me to this brand was Riri, the Brutally Honest Beauty. She always comes out with really amazing reviews on their eyeshadow palettes, and she has almost every eyeshadow palette from them. She actually just decluttered some of them from the brand. But if you want a really thorough review on them, I would definitely check out her channel. But yeah, I'm kind of interested in their products too. And then the next brand, I'm only going to talk about 3 more brands, and then we're just going to touch on one palette that I'm interested in from Nomad Cosmetics. So the next brand is Half Magic Beauty. And that is actually, I was about to say Selena Gomez's brand, but I'm like, no, Caitlin, that's not Selena Gomez's brand. Which is actually the Euphoria brand. And they have some products that are actually very interesting to me. And the reason why I got really interested in trying their products is because Angelica Nyquist features them a lot on her channel. And she says that their products are really, really good. And I'm kind of super interested in trying. I kind of want one of their blushes now too. These look really pretty. So I want to try one of these. I think that would be the shade I would want to try. These are their newest release, and that blush looks so pretty. So I think I would definitely try one of those. And then I also really want to try one of the highlighters because the highlighters look amazing. I don't even know, like, is it this one? No, those are Gems. Highlight. Let's just type in highlighter. Because it's showing me all the products for some reason. It doesn't like show me a menu. This highlighter. Light Trap. It's such a pretty highlighter. I wouldn't get the purple one because I would never wear the purple one. But this looks like a really beautiful like peachy tone highlighter. And Angelica like raved about this one. She said it's gorgeous. So I really want to try that too. So I'll probably try one of the blushes, this highlighter, and then one of the lipsticks because the lipsticks look really pretty too. I'm just gonna look up bestsellers. Yeah, this Magic Brownie one, I really want to try that. It also comes with a lip liner, which is, I think it comes with a lip liner. Yeah, it looks really cool, and their prices are really good. They're only like $20 to $25, which is like mid-range prices, so I think that's actually really good. I'm glad that they kept them a little bit cheaper because they know how popular Euphoria is. I'm glad that they kept the prices a little bit more mid-range. So definitely interested in trying Half Magic Beauty as well. I've actually like added their stuff to my cart like a couple of times and then I just didn't bite the bullet. But I think I'm going to try them this year. And then 2 more brands. The next brand, I actually forgot that I wanted to try this brand for a while, and they're called Perfect Diary Cosmetics. And the reason why I got reminded of this brand is because I watched Beauty Jack's Declutter. How do you say that? Beauty Jack's. Um, and I watched her declutter recently, and she was talking about their palettes. Is this the right website? Yes, it is. And they have some of the most gorgeous eyeshadow palettes because they're all animal themed. I love animal themed anything. I'm actually like happy when some brands go with more animal themed products, but I'm a sucker for animals. But the color stories are so beyond pretty for these eyeshadow palettes, you guys. But they don't offer afterpay and they don't offer like installment plans. So if I decided to ever try this brand, I would have to pay for it up front, which is not a huge deal because I think that they're gorgeous products. But look at this eyeshadow palette. Look at how pretty this is. It's a 12 pan eyeshadow palette. This is the Fox palette. I'm very interested in this color story. I think it's stunning. It has like warm tone mattes in here and it's just so pretty. And then the other one that I really was interested in was this Koi palette. Look at how beautiful this is. Are you kidding me? And it has like the fish scales actually imprinted into the embossment of the eyeshadow. And then there's like these stunning twinkly shimmers. And it has a really good range of mattes, like this berry tone, this coral shade. I'm obsessed. So I'm kind of torn as to which eyeshadow palette I want to get because there's a couple that are really, really pretty. And then the other one I really loved the color story of is this Crane eyeshadow palette. And give me 1 second. And it has like this two-tone like pan of like red and white of like the actual crane's head. It's so pretty. And then there's these really beautiful like sparkly shimmers. And then they have these really beautiful matte shades. So very curious about the eyeshadow palettes. And then they also have some cheek products that I think are really pretty. They have some really pretty blushes. They have some really pretty highlighters. And I feel like they would be a really beautiful brand to try. Like there's these star highlighters that I'm really interested in. And these blushes look stunning. Like there's like this pink color. And then they have like this peachy color. I'll probably end up trying the peach. Look how pretty that is. It's stunning. So I'm very interested in trying this brand as well. So they are definitely very high on my list. Okay, and then the last brand that I really want to cover is Ace Beauté. I don't know if my mom's home or not. I don't think she's home yet. So Ace Beauté has been on my list for quite a while. I have tried their brand in the past, but I did not like the eyeshadow palette that I tried from them. I forget which one it was, but they came out with these two beautiful 12 pan palettes recently. And the one that I was interested in is called the Aura palette. And it's this really beautiful, like purpley pink palette. I just want to zoom in on it. Yeah, I guess I can zoom in on it on the website. Look at it. It's just really, really pretty. It has like these pink tones, these purple tones, these red tones, and it has like these brownie tones on the bottom. And I just thought it looked like such a pretty palette to try. And also a lot of beauty influencers were saying like these were like their favorite palettes that they tried from Ace Beauté last year. They came out kind of towards the tail end of the year. I think they came out around December, so they're still pretty new. But the only reason why this was in my cart a couple of times, and the only reason why I didn't get it is because I ended up getting the Natasha Denona My Dream palette and some other palettes in November that I decided not to get this one, but I'm kind of super interested in it. And it has 5 shimmers and 7 mattes. The only reason why I wasn't leaning towards it too much is that I was kind of wishing that there was like another pink matte in here, but there is this pink and this pink. So they would work with the pink tone shimmers, But I also didn't understand why there wasn't a purple shimmer in here, because they have this purple matte in here, but this would be a really pretty deepening shade for like pinky tone looks. So I'm very curious about this palette as well. So I am keeping an eye on that one. But that's like the only product I'm interested in from Ace Beauté. I'm not sure what else I would get. And then there are some other brands on the list, and I'm just going to run through them super quickly. We have Kiko Milano, M Cosmetics, Clarity Cosmetics, Cleona, Divina, and Terra Moons. And I'm just going to say really quickly why I don't think I'm going to try these brands still. Maybe Kiko Milano, but because Kiko Milano's products are really, really cheap, but for some reason I just haven't really gotten anything from the brand. The only thing I've ever tried from them is their mascara, but they release some really beautiful collections and they are a very affordable brand. I just don't really order affordable brands anymore unless it's ColourPop, but I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to slow down with ColourPop this year because they really have not released anything that I've been remotely interested in since the Not a Box of Chocolates palette. Like, this palette is a banger, but all the collections that they've released after the Chocolates collection, I have not been interested in at all. So I would like to see what they come out with throughout the rest of the year, but the past few collections that they've released have just been boring to me, so I've just completely skipped over them. But Kiko Milano, I'm going to keep my eye on still. M Cosmetics, I really want to try their blushes and their lipsticks, but they are very pricey. Like, their blushes are like $34, $35, and their lipsticks are too. So I think their lipsticks are like $25, but like literally for 2 items is like almost $60. And I just don't want to spend that on makeup unless I'm buying it from Sephora and I can use my rewards points, or if I can get 20% off. Like, when I buy stuff at Sephora, I feel like it's a little bit more worth it, but also, like, I get the points with my credit card, so I get some dollars off, that I'd rather just do that. So I'm not sure if I'm going to try them anytime soon, but I am interested. And then Clarity Cosmetics, I've heard very mixed reviews about their eyeshadows. I've heard that some of them just crumble in the pan and you really can't use them anymore, but they've released some really beautiful color stories lately. I'm thinking about it, but again, the brands that I already listed, there's already enough brands to try for me this year, because I usually try about 5 to 6 new brands every year. That's a lot of brands, especially for eyeshadows. And if I already have ZC, Fantasy Cosmetica, Flower Nose, Rebel Rouge Labs, and Glaminatrix that I'm really eyeing, that's already 5 brands. Cleona has been on my list for a while too, but I'm only going to try Cleona if they do release another palette that has mattes in it. Because I was very curious about the one that had shimmers in it, but I'm like, I'm not getting it because I just knew I wasn't going to use it enough. And then Divina, they only have single shadows, and I could build a palette and get their shimmers and their mattes like I did with Lethal Cosmetics. That was the last brand that I did that with, and I did that in 2021. 2022, I did not pick up one singles brand because I just know myself that I don't use single shadows really ever. I'm always using palettes, but I do love that Lethal palette because I love Lethal's formula. And there just wasn't a palette at the time that I was really thinking that I was going to use the Color Story enough, because they were very colorful palettes. And then of course they released these 2 palettes lately that I probably would have picked up that palette. I forget what it's called, but it's like the 2 palettes they just released recently, not the bluish green one, but like the pinky green one. I feel like I would have used that one, and it's such a pretty color story. I'm like, that's definitely my color story, but I'm like, I just didn't end up getting it. So I'm not sure about Divina because I'm always up and down about them, but they just don't have enough selection of, I mean, they have more matte shades than Cleona does, but I'd rather try Cleona over Divina if I get the chance to, because everybody raves about how amazing Cleona's eyeshadows are. So I want to get on the bandwagon. I want to try them. And then the last singles brand is Terra Moons, which again, they have been on my list for quite a while too. But I am not sure if I'm going to try them because, again, like, I wish that they would come out with a palette, Because for me, I'm always much more inclined to try a brand if they come out with an eyeshadow palette. So again, they have beautiful eyeshadows, but I'm not sure if I'm going to try them. And there's actually one more brand that I forgot to cover. I have been eyeing their products for a while. My dogs are barking because I think my mom is home. I'm not even sure. There's no like shipment truck or anything here, so I don't even know who's here. I don't know if she's working till 3 though. So this is the Florescence Beauty brand, and this is also another Asian brand. I'm telling you guys, Asian brands just kill the game, and their packaging is just absolutely stunning. And they actually just released this fan palette. They are known for releasing like these fan palettes. And this color story looks absolutely stunning to me. And this one actually has a couple more mattes in it than the other fan palettes that they have released. And look at this lipstick. Isn't this absolutely gorgeous? So their packaging is stunning. So I'm really curious about their brand too. And then their face products are also gorgeous as well. Let me show you guys. Like there's this really beautiful blush here. And it's like a florally blush, and they have like a bunch of different shades. So I don't know if I might try some of their blushes as well. The blushes are only $20, so it's actually a pretty decent price. And then when it comes to the highlighters, I have to pee so bad, you guys. I'm trying to like just get through this really quick so I can just leave. This highlighter I saw Angelique Nyquist try, and they look so stunning. She actually said that these are amazing. The highlighters are a lot more pricey though. This is $39. So I don't know if I'm going to try that, but they do have blush palettes as well that aren't as expensive. So really, really pretty. And then the last palette I want to cover, I'm not sure if I'm going to try. Oh my God, my sister's so cute. She's wearing the hat that she got with me at Lucky Brand. That's funny. So they just teased their new palette for February. It's like their Valentine's Day palette. But I don't know if I'm going to pick up anything from Nomad this year because they really were the brand that I got sucked into the most last year. And I tried 3 eyeshadow palettes from them. Once I started, I couldn't stop. I have the Whistler Snow Lodge, the Hudson Valley, and the Feet de Provence palette. And there were a couple of other brands that I bought more than one palette from last year, like Sigma and Odin's Eye. But Nomad, I bought 3 palettes from. But the new Valentine's Day palette that they're teasing looks so dang pretty. And it's like red and black. So these are the 4 shades that they have teased so far. But I also think Angelique Nyquist is wearing their palette in her new video. And it looks like such a stunning palette. What? I'm just going to mute it. But I was wondering why my sound was picking up my HomePod right now because I don't have my HomePod on. That was a little weird. I'm just waiting for the ads, but the eyeshadow look that she's wearing today is so pretty. If you guys can see that. Let me just zoom in on it. Yeah. Look at how pretty that is. So I think she's definitely wearing that palette in her video today. So I think it's definitely that one because she said in the comments, palette has not been revealed yet. And I was like, it's red and black. I was like, that has to be the Nomad palette. So it's getting revealed soon. Maybe I won't put up this video until it's revealed, but I'm very excited and curious to see what it looks like. So that is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at CBW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. Let me know what brands you guys are interested in trying this year. Are you interested in trying any of these brands yourself? Have you tried them and what do you think of them? I'm very curious to know. And are there any brands that I didn't mention that you guys are curious about trying? So I love you guys so much and I hope you have a great day. Bye.